Right, everyone. Dear God, we have found a new level of cringe. It's definitely registers a 10 out of 10 on the cringe scale. Um, Video link in the description. You need bleach for your eyes after watching this. It's only supplanted by the Chaz Garden in terms of how hilariously cringe it is. AOC and a bunch of other female leftoids in politics decided to make a video. Who's your fighter? And it has like weird it's like video game statistics. It's like, choose your fighter, for like Mortal Kombat or something like that. And it's got like all of these congressional women like doing fighting poses and weird shit like that. And I don't know how to react to it because one part of me wants to laugh, another part of me wants to cry. I want to laugh because it's so cringe. It's like, okay, the meme of the left can't meme is absolutely true. And it happens over and goddamn over again. We've seen this from multiple members of Congress, Elizabeth Warren's meme team and stuff like that. We've seen it over the last decade increasingly. And I've got a theory about that. I'll get to it. But I also kind of want to cry because people actually voted for these idiots. Here's it's God. It's a complicated. It's hard to even think about it because it's so brain numbing looking at this. Um, the reason that the left can't meme, and I talked about this years ago, like around the time I was releasing Occult Memetics and Pepe was circulating heavily, and everyone was like, it's the Nazi frog and stuff like that. The reason that the left can't meme is that the left tends to be more hierarchical and centrally organized. So you need a think tank in order to make a goddamn cartoon. And meanwhile, people on the right, they don't want that central organization, so everyone's just throwing shit out all the time. Takes them 5 minutes. And it doesn't need to be high effort. It can be irreducible complexity. You could draw a dot or a single pixel on a white screen and turn it into a political screed. It would be completely irreducible at that point. We spoke about this in the context of Pepe memes, the rare Pepe sort of thing, and later on Groypers and stuff like that. The thing is that Pepe represented irreducible complexity. The image did not need anything associated with it for it to enter people's minds and have a specific meaning. And the meaning could be altered infinitely. It was capable of that being done. The left has never apparently understood this. If they had developed, the Pepe meme, it would have a wall of text next to it that was several paragraphs long. And so it's like, okay, too long didn't read. You're not getting the meaning across because you're trying to hyper explain it. Part of this is because young leftoids, they tend to be a bit spastic in many cases. They got the problem glasses and shit like that. They tend to be spastic. And so, they can't help but hyper explain everything. I've known people in real life who are like this. They're incapable of simply making a couple of sentences and explaining something to you and then going about their merry way. They'll say it over and over again in different ways, hyper explaining and constantly going off into different directions. And this is why I have a problem with some content creators. Um, because it'll take them 30 minutes to say what could be said in a 10-minute video. Compress it, make it shorter, make it more digestible. That's all you need to do. The cringe, my God. I mean, I can be verbose, admittedly, as well, but that's because I like to ramble sometimes. You can always turn it off if you don't like my rambling. But in person, it's a little bit rude to just turn around and walk away because they're beginning to bore you. This is this is a 10 out of 10. I would rank this number two behind the Chaz Garden. What would number three be? What would the number three cringing? I guess Ron Perlman's shit posting. And crawling back to Twitter, by the way, I guess Ron Perlman would probably single-handedly be number three. But this is definitely close behind the Chaz Garden. I did get a cheeky chuckle out of it, but at the same time, again, people voted for these idiots. Doesn't that make them idiots as well? How can you possibly, at this point, unless you are totally vapid, for example, support somebody like AOC? She's a complete bimbo. She has no idea. She's an airhead. She has no idea what she's talking about half the time. It's like if you took Bernie Sanders, removed half of his brain cells, transgendered him, and made him half of his age, you'd get AOC. That's basically what it is. It's funny because these leftists, they don't even like Sanders anymore. To them, he's far right. It's hilarious. And people also don't realize that most of these individuals, they're not even truly ideologically on the far left. They're grifters. They're pretending. They're telling you what you want to hear and doing what you want them to do and going through the motions, but they don't give a damn about you. As long as it maintains their job, they're perfectly fine with pretending. You've got plenty of conservatives, by the way, that do exactly the same thing. They'll go and do the Jesus Jesus thing. Meanwhile, then they're snorting coke off a hooker's tits or something like that. Real holy. We have many such examples. The evangelical movement especially is rife with them. And it's sort of like the Catholic priest abuse scandals. Yeah, or educators. Well, yeah, I love to teach the kids. I mean, while molesting them or something like that. Happens all the time. That's about all. Peace out.